Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. Gonna go through a quick, gonna go through a screencast here showing you the highlights of my math lab. Everything you need to be successful in the course is contained here at my math lab. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you that this is technically called the Instructor Home. I'm going to click on this real quick to give you an idea of this is probably what you would more than likely see when you log on to the site. Let's see important stuff here. Well, it's telling me what my overall score is because I tried some stuff. These reading assignments here, these do not pertain to you. There are no reading assignments. So, well, you know what? I'm going to go back to my home page. I just wanted to give you a quick look at that. I'm going to be referencing things over here in the left frame area. This is where all the important stuff is. So let's start off. This is the course home. The first thing I'm going to look at is the course information tab. So let me click on the course information tab. Okay, in the course information tab, there are 6 items listed here, and they're all PDFs. Notice the first item. 5 of these 6 I'm going to ask you to print out and have a hard copy of. So you always have a hard copy in your possession at all times. Consider this to be the 5 things that if this were a traditional class, these are the 5 items that I would pass out like the first day of class. So the first thing is the course syllabus. Seems to be something important you need to find in the course syllabus. So let me click on the course syllabus, and again, it's a PDF, so it'll open it in a new tab. And I'm not going to read through every line by line of the course syllabus. You can do that on your own. But I will highlight important features here. First one is my email address. This is my email address. That's how you get a hold of me. If you don't use the correct email address, I will not receive your email, obviously. So, please use this email address if you need to get a hold of me. If you send me an email and I haven't replied to it in 24 hours, you probably used the wrong email address. My office is located at B3056, and I've given you my office telephone number as well. So if you're ever on campus, during my office hours, just stop by. Here are my office hours. So you can see, I have office hours on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Prerequisite, okay. Course material, with my math lab is what is used to all content delivery of the course. Because everything can be contained here at my math lab, the Lakeland Blackboard site will not be used for the course. You should have a graphing calculator. You can read that. Let's see the grading structure. So first off, the grade you earn will be based on a total possible 600 points. These 600 points are broken down as follows. There will be 3 tests worth 120 points each. And tests are taken in the LCC, the Lakeland testing center. You can take your tests any day in the testing center up to and including the deadline date. So when we look at the academic calendar here in a moment, there will be deadline dates for the test. That doesn't mean you have to take it on that day. You can take it on any day up to and including the deadline date. And here in this table, you see the tests and what weeks they cover and what sections that they're going to cover. Here's some test notes. When you show up to take a test, you need to have a photo ID. Please take your test in pencil. Graphing calculator, yeah, you might as well bring it. You can use it. There will be, you will not be allowed to use any notes, books, formula cards, cheat sheets, etc. during the test. Deadline dates, we'll talk about that in a little bit. There are the hours. Here are the hours for the test center. So it looks like pretty much Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hey, the test center does have a policy. They close, exactly at the times listed here, and they will not let you start a test within a half hour of their closing time. So if you show up on a Saturday at 1:45 p.m., they won't let you start the test because they close the test center at 2 p.m. So again, tests can be taken any day up to and including the deadline dates shown on the academic calendar. You need a photo ID, your graphing calculator and pencil. No extensions for tests or quizzes. You can read through the other stuff here. Online quizzes. This is another component for determining the final grade that you earn in the class. They're going to be weekly online quizzes. These online quizzes are, well, completed online here at the MyMathLab site. There's 120 points possible for the online quizzes. Some brief comments on those. Each online quiz will be due Sunday that it's assigned at 11:55 p.m. Each online quiz must be completed in one session. What that means is that if you start the online quiz, you must, once you start it, you must finish it. If it takes you 2 hours, it takes you 2 hours. I mean, there's no time limit, but you must, each attempt must be completed once you've started it. And I said each attempt because you can see in item 3 here, each online quiz can be repeated up to 3 times maximum. So, you do an online quiz. The first time you do it, say you get a 60%, no problem. See what you missed, figure it out, take it again, try to improve your score. And then there's a final exam that's going to be worth 120 points. So as I just said a little bit ago, there's 600 points total in the class. So we see that the 600 points are determined by 3 tests worth 120 points each, 12 online quizzes at 10 points each, and the final exam worth 120 points. That's how the 600 points are determined. Those are the only items that will be determining the final grade that you earn. There's no homework to turn in. It's just based on the online quizzes, tests, and final exam. Here in Table 3, you can see the percentages I use to determine the grade that you earn. Assigning course grades, I can let you, you can read through that on your own, as well as academic misconduct. Let's see, some general course tips. Again, the homework to practice exercises are not collected. The online quizzes, tests, and final exam will have problems similar to the homework to practice exercises. So probably doing the section by section homework to practice exercises will be the single most important vital element to be successful in the course. Please keep up with the assigned sections and the homework to practice exercises. Do not let it build up. If you have a question, do not hesitate to send me an email. Again, this is the email address. Please use the correct email address. Here in a minute, we'll go over my protocol for sending email and the highlights of it. It's a self-directed course, so you got to have the time, proficiency, inclination to learn this material in a self-motivated style. And over the 10 years that I've been doing online courses, I've kind of come up with this 4-step cycle of learning, if you will. And so here's how it goes. You begin each section, you'll log into the MyMathLab site, go to the chapter and section of the e-text. Read the e-text. While you're reading the e-text, and we'll look at the e-text here in a minute, but while reading the e-text, embedded in the e-text are links to videos, animations, etc., done by the author of the textbook. And I really think watching these animations and videos, they do help you with the homework to practice exercises. Now, for many of the sections in the e-text, I will also supply a link to a YouTube video that I will make highlighting the material in this section and maybe showing some more examples. So for most sections, I will do that. Step 2 here, I have while reading the assigned section of the e-text, you're going to come across these things called You Try It practice problems. They're present after many examples. When they're present, doing these You Try It exercises allows you to practice the ideas and concepts and skills presented in the reading and the example right before the You Try It exercises. Again, the You Try It exercises do not directly count for a grade. They're not submitted, but they're matched with some of the assigned homework to practice exercises at the end of the section. So they're meant to, just reinforce the concept very quickly. So once you've made it through the section, then you do the homework to practice exercises that I've suggested at the end of each section. Again, these exercises do not count for a grade, but they're going to reinforce the ideas and concepts and skills presented in the section, and that in turn helps prepare you for the quizzes and the tests. And then after you complete all the sections for a given week, then you go to the online quiz area and do the weekly quiz. Again, the online quizzes, they do count for a grade. And that's kind of the end of the syllabus. Again, print this out. Looks like something important here. But I'm going to close the syllabus now. And again, make sure you print and have a hard copy of it. Next thing we'll look at here in the course information tab is the academic calendar. So let me click on that. And again, this is a PDF. Please print it out, have a hard copy on hand. This is a week by week showing, week by week sections covered and any deadlines. So you see here, week 1, those are the 4 sections covered. And Sunday is the deadline for quiz 1. Also on here, you see deadlines for tests. So the deadline for test 1 is Saturday, September 22nd. All quiz deadlines and all test deadlines are listed. There's the deadline for test 2, deadline for test 3, and notice the deadline for the final exam is Wednesday, December 12th. At the very end on the second page here of the academic calendar is a reminder of each quiz and what sections are covered, each test and what sections are covered on the test. You've seen this in the syllabus. Now you're seeing it also on the academic calendar. But please print out and have a hard copy of the academic calendar on hand. So let me close the academic calendar, and the next item is the online orientation. And this is a very brief document. It's going to be repetitive of some stuff that we've already seen. For example, notice it starts off in here saying some documents to have in hand. That means make a hard copy of, print them out. The course syllabus, the academic calendar, homework to practice exercises, and the protocol for sending email. Weekly, I'm going to post in the announcement area. I call it a weekly announcement. And in the weekly announcement, there you will see a reminder of what section should be covered that week. Homework to practice exercises for the section. Reminders of any due dates. Notification of when test preparation tabs are available when appropriate. And I tend to put these weekly announcements, I tend to post them on a Sunday morning for the following week. Again, if you need help, any math help, one more time, that's my email address. Please use the correct email address. We'll look at the protocol for sending email here in a minute. You can stop by my office also during my office hours, anytime. You can stop by the Math in Minutes table that's in the Tutor Center, which is in A1044. And you could also get a tutor through the Tutor Center. And let's see, taking the tests, anything new in here that we haven't already discussed? No, but you can read through that again. Online quizzes. Again, the best way to prepare for the online quizzes is to complete the homework to practice exercises for each section. Each quiz will have a maximum of 3 attempts. And remember, once you begin an online quiz, once you start one of those 3 attempts, you must complete it in its entirety. So that's your very brief online orientation. Protocol for sending email. Let me click on that. We'll look through the protocol for sending email. I really think these tips I have in the protocol for sending email can be applied to any course you take, whether it's an online course, a traditional course, or a hybrid course. So again, there's my email address. I would like you to use your Lakeland email to send me any email. And the reason for that is, I have a lot of online students and hybrid students as well as traditional students. So if in my email I see that I'm getting an email from, sleekdime@gmail.com, and that's your personal email, I don't know that's from one of my students. But when you use your Lakeland email account, I will know it's from one of my students. Try to identify yourself at the beginning of an email, like just briefly state your name and what class you're in. Again, I have a lot of students in a lot of different classes. So if you just take the time to identify that, you're in Math 1650, College Algebra Online, that really helps me. Allow time for a reply. I will respond to email each day. So you will receive a response within 24 hours. Chances are you'll receive one within 8 hours. I check my email, more than once a day. There might be times you send an email and I reply within 5 minutes because I'm currently checking my email and I see your email as it comes in. That's unusual when that happens, but I will reply. So if you send me an email late at night or on the weekend, you may not get an immediate response, say within 8 hours, but you will get one the next day at the latest. So it doesn't help to send multiple repeated messages. You send me an email, let's say you send me an email and an hour goes by and I haven't replied, sending me another email isn't going to help. Once I log on to my email and I see your email, I will reply to it. Be cognizant of your writing tones. You can read through that. Please use complete words and sentences. We don't have to worry about texting or being on Twitter or whatnot. If you have a homework question, try to identify it clearly, and I gave an example here of how to do that. Sometimes it gets difficult for some to communicate mathematics via email, but I can say in the 10 years I've been doing this, we work through it. I can understand what you're trying to say, and hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say back. And well, that's your protocol for sending email. So please check it out before sending an email. So I'm going to close that. And next is the list of homework to practice exercises. So this is something you definitely want to have a hard copy of. And it's telling you section by section on what e-text screen the homework problems start and which ones I would like you to practice. So for example, section 2.4, they start on E-Text Screen 2.4-16. That's where the homework to practice exercises start. It's the end of the section. And then I'd like you to do 1 through 15 odd. Whereas over here you see section 5.4. The homework to practice exercises begin on 5.4-18, and I'd like you to do 1 through 27 odd. Okay, these are practice purposes only. You're not submitting them to me. They help you get prepared for the online quizzes, which prepares you for the tests. So please print this PDF out. Okay, the final thing that's important in the course information area, and I would not print this out, is the homework to practice exercise answers. So let me click on that. This will open in a new tab. And the reason why, this is like for many of you that have taken a traditional math class before, the answers to the homework are in the back of the book. This is the back of the book, so to speak. I wouldn't print it out because it's 52 pages. But when I do the end of section homework to practice exercises, I would open this this document, this PDF, and I just have it open in one of my, it's open in a tab right now, and then I could do the homework, and you could see, scroll down, chapter 1. I mean, it's just like the back of the book. So I would have it open while I'm, doing the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section. But I'm going to close this for now. And that's everything in the course information area. So the course syllabus, don't know what more I can say about that. Print out the course syllabus. The academic calendar shows all deadline dates. Please print that out. Your online orientation, protocol for sending email, you should print that out as well. List of homework to practice exercises, you should print that out as well. And the answers to the homework to practice exercises. So that's everything in the course information. Next thing I want to show you over here in the left frame, let's look at the online quizzes. And so all the online quizzes, I've already made them all for you, so you can see all 12 of them are here. So quite simply, when you do an online quiz, you'll click on online quiz. You come in here, you're going to do online quiz 1. Notice it even tells you when the deadline is. So you'll click on this, and away you go, doing the online quiz. Now, I do have to say you have to follow the directions very carefully in submitting your answers for the online quizzes. Sometimes you think you've entered the answer, that you have a correct answer, but it was marked incorrect. You'll send me an email about it, and it ends up being, maybe you just didn't follow the directions. For example, let's say, they tell you to enter your answer as a fraction, and then the directions say, make sure it's simplified. And you enter the answer of 4/8. And it's going to be marked incorrect because 4/8 is not simplified. That would be 1/2 in simplified form. So please follow the directions, accurately and completely. But this is where your online quizzes are. Gradebook, folks, this is where you always know what your current grade is. Look, I played around on some stuff to see how it would interpret information I was entering, and it will always show you what your percent is. So every time you do a quiz, every time you take a test in the test center, and once I've graded it and submitted your grade, you will know what your grade is. So you always know your current grade by checking out the gradebook. Hey, the next item here on the list, the test preparation tab. So for each test, the week before the test deadline, I will open a preparation tab. So I already have test 1 ready to go. Don't worry if you don't see these things. There's nothing in there yet for you to see. But when we get within a week of the deadline for test 2, it'll be present here. But in any event, when you look in a test preparation tab, you see the following things. You see a study guide, a practice test, answers, maybe not to every item, but to most items on the practice test, and a link to a YouTube video showing solutions to the practice test. So if you look at each one of these, first thing I'll look at is PDF for the study guide. It starts off telling you the sections. This is, no new information. Gives you more guidelines. Like when you show up to take the test, you're going to be asked my name. So hopefully you remember it's Bill Armstrong. So just some general test information that's important. But I have here, hey, to get ready for the test, I have, on section 1.9, on eText screen, the exercises that begin on eText screen 1.9-17, practice those 4 problems. So I break it down section by section, few more problems for you to practice. And then, that gives you extra practice. So do that. Now let me close that. After you've done that extra practice, let me open the practice test. Take the practice test. You can print this out, take the practice test. Pretend like you're really taking a test. Don't look at your book, don't look at notes or anything. See what you really know and see what you really need a little bit more time studying. That's the benefit of a practice test. And then here would be answers to most items on the practice test. And here is a link to a YouTube video I made. So I'll go ahead and click on that. There'll be solutions to most items on the practice test. So you'll get to see, video solutions.
Hey folks, thought I'd work through.
Real quickly, I would make sure, this is in HD, so make sure your settings are in HD. And then I recommend if you want, you look at it in a larger viewing window. So I could go full screen. It kind of scares me, but you could.
Through most of the items on practice test 1. And the first one that I had on practice test 1 was to solve this rational inequality. And I said to write.
Okay, that's enough of me. But it'll be most items on the practice test. I have a worked out video solution. So for each test in the final exam, I'll open a preparation tab like this. So let's see, course home, oh, wait, let's look at announcements. So here's where you'll find your weekly announcements. So again, every Sunday morning, I'm going to post an announcement for the upcoming week. In these weekly announcements, I'll post links to YouTube videos I've made, if I've made one for that section. And let's go ahead and look at the week 1. So the week 1 announcement, this is a PDF, by the way. If you would care to print it out, you can. So notice I start off by telling you, hey, here are 5 items that you should print out and have a hard copy of. You've heard that already. Something important in the course syllabus. Don't know what more to say about that. But here's where like a typical weekly announcement will begin. I define what the week is. And then, here are the 4 sections that are covered in the week. And these are links to my YouTube videos that I've made that I talked about a little bit ago. So, it says here that I would suggest you watch in full screen mode and put setting in HD mode. Right click on the link and open in a new tab. So let me look at this one here. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to open it in a new tab. Come up and click on the tab. And I'm already in HD.
So hey, next up, folks, we're going to take a look at lines and like a quick review of everything you wanted to know about lines. The first thing is one of the most important things we could ever know about a line, and that's the slope of the line. Okay, remember if you want to find the slope of a line that goes through 2 points, and I'm calling the points x1, y1, and x.
Pause and close that, but I'll go over something like this, something important that's in the section. It looks like I'll do a practice example. Depending upon, your view, your viewing device. I don't know if you need to go to full screen. Some people like it, but um, so back to the weekly announcement. So if I have a video, I will have the links here for a section. Here's a reminder on the 4 sections covered in week 1. Reminder to do the practice exercises. Here are the exercises and the e-text screen they begin on, which you've already seen this in another document that's in the course information area. Reminder about online quiz 1, that its deadline is Sunday, September 2nd at 11:55. So that's a typical weekly announcement. So please, every Sunday morning, I'm going to post these weekly announcements telling you for the upcoming week what you need to be doing. All right, so we've looked at everything over here that's important, really important for your success, except for the e-text. Let's check out your e-text. So your e-text, it will open in a new tab. And it takes a little while to open. Over here, it tells you the table of contents. This little box here tells you the page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into chapter 2, and I'm going to go to section 2.3. So let me click on that. There's some stuff I wanted to just highlight about. These are like features of the e-text, if you will. First off, I can click on this button to go to the next page. And so here we are, section 2.3. So this is, just like your textbook, you're reading. This icon right here is a video. It's going to be a video talking about slope. So let me click on it. Let me push play.
In this chapter, we are going to work extensively with the equations of lines.
That's the
now, before we
author
do
of the
that,
book.
It's important that we understand slope. Let's have a look. So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk about the slope of a line. The slope is a way for us to determine the steep.
Okay, I'm going to pause that. I'm going to close it. But that's the video icon. You see that icon? That means there's a video. Let me go to the next page. So you start to see this is just like just like your book. You have one of these. Let's look at that. Determining slope of a line. So here are your display options. And so select the red coordinate points to move the line and change the slope. Oh, so this is kind of like a little interactive thing, so that if you wanted to, show the slope formula, so it shows you the slope formula, show the slope. So now if you wanted to, move that to here, look, it shows you that how you're at the point -5, -2, and how the slope has changed. All right. So you can kind of play around with that. On page 2.3-5, here's an example. So you can see, the worked out step by step. You get this as the slope, or you could watch, a video solution done by the author. So let's see part B here. Or I'm sorry, let's see it says find the slope of a line.
In this video, we're going to determine the slope of a line given 2 ordered pairs. So we want to find the slope of the line that passes through the indicated ordered pairs. So in part A, we have the ordered pair 6, -4.
I'm gonna just stop that. But it's going to work through part A. So you can read it, or you could watch it, or you could do both. After example 1, here are these U-triads that I was telling you about. So let's look at one of these U-triads. Okay, find the slope of the line containing the pair of points. So it's the line going through these points. And so, you either say the slope is, and you type in your answer, or you click the slope is undefined. But notice, this gets you ready for the quizzes. These are the directions. Simplify your answer. Type an integer or a fraction. So if I look at this, what's the slope here? It looks like it's 19/5. So I click in here. Here's the fraction. You can always clicking more shows you everything you could possibly use to enter answers. Like there's your exponent, absolute value. There's square root, subscripts. But let me do 19, and I tab 5, tab, and let me check my answer. Hey, I got it right. So I'll click OK. I could practice another one if I wanted to. But see, these you try it exercises, they're problems just like this. So you've read the example, maybe you've watched the video. Now you can immediately practice it with these you try it's. Immediately practice it, and then that helps you get ready for the end of section homework to practice exercises. All right, let me just kind of click through the rest of the section. Look, here's another video for this example, for example 2. And again, another you try it after example 2. Here's a video that would show you the derivation of that formula. And keep clicking through. Let's see. So, I know I'm going a lot faster clicking here than you would because you'd be reading and, taking notes. Let's look at this again. It says getting started, use the slope and y-intercept sliders, move the line in the graph, determine the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Then check the display options boxes to check your answer. So, I think if I click on show values, it tells me that right now this line has a slope of 1 and the y-intercept is 0. So if I just want to change that to 2, and let me make the y-intercept -1. I see how the line has changed, and now I think, okay, what's the equation of this line that has a slope of 2 and has a y-intercept of -1? So I think the equation of the line is y equals 2x minus 1. So that's what I'm thinking it is, y equals 2x minus 1. So let me click on show equation to see if I was right. Hey, I was. So this can give you some practice, before you get started on stuff as well. So let me click, just kind of get through the rest of the section. There's another one of those, practice doing equations in standard form. More videos. See, a lot of videos embedded. In this e-text. And I think the exercises start on page 2.3-28. So this is where the exercises begin that I'm asking you to practice at the end of the section. Keep in mind, you can always just come up here once you've done a section, you read through the section, you can always just type in the page you want to get to. But that's a very quick overview of your e-text and all the important features in the e-text. So when I start to do the practice problems that you will find in numerous documents I've asked you to print out, and also, again, you'd find them in the weekly announcements. When I go to do these problems, and I'm going to do them with paper and pencil, I would have open in one of my tabs, the answers. I would have that open so I could be checking my answers. But, that's a quick overview. There's a few more things down here that I'm not going to go over. I'll just talk about the guided notebook. Most students don't find it to be, they find it to be more burdensome, but I just wanted to point out that there is something here called a guided notebook that, I mean, it is what it says. It tries to guide you through certain things. Most of my students have found the best way to be successful in the class is go through the section and read the e-text, take their own notes, watch the videos, watch my video, and do all the homework problems that I've asked. But that's a quick overview of my math lab. So one more time, here's your course home. Announcements will be where you find the weekly announcements. Course information is where you find important documents that you should print out 5 of these, as I've asked. Here's where you will find your e-text, where you read your e-text. Online quizzes, this is where you will click to take your online quizzes. Gradebook, that's where you will always know your current grade. So you should always know where you stand in the class. And then test preparation tabs. But that's it for this overview of my math lab. You have everything you need to know to be successful. So everything that I've covered here is what you need to know to be successful in the class and the work you need to put in. And that's it. Thanks for watching.